Before we jump into our Chicago Bears mailbag video, how many of you guys love the NFL draft? Because if you do, we launched a draft channel during the NFL Combine. It's youtube.com/chatNFL. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers. Can we get over the top? I know Bears fans will help deliver. If you love the draft and if you're excited for April's NFL draft, go subscribe to our draft channel. We're about to crank up our coverage over there. Once we cross 3,000 subs, you'll see me from time to time. You'll see some Bears draft coverage from time to time. So it's going to be a lot of fun. youtube.com/chatNFL. Come join the movement over on our draft channel. It is mailbag time here on Chicago Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham, and if you have a question, use hashtag Bears, or you can super chat. If you super chat, that is a guarantee to get your question on the show. From Emiliano, these are his top 5 draft targets, it would appear. At number 9, Peter Skoronski, Jalen Carter, Paris Johnson Jr., Devon Witherspoon, and Lukas Van Ness. If I had to rank these, I would go 1A, 1B, Johnson and Skoronski, 3 Carter, 4 Witherspoon, and 5 Van Ness, I think. You could flip Van Ness and Witherspoon because Van Ness is a bigger need. I think Witherspoon's a better overall prospect, but I think all those players could be in play at 9. I think a couple of them could be in play in trade-down scenarios as well. Adam, weird. Matt Eberflus, I think you mean, doesn't want Rock Ya-Sin, I think you mean as well, considering he was his DC in Indy when he was the starting corner. Yet it doesn't mean he doesn't want Rock Ya-Sin. It just means they haven't signed him yet, or Rock Ya-Sin just hasn't signed anywhere yet. So that doesn't mean mutual interest couldn't exist. Maybe the Bears want to wait to potentially sign another corner until after the draft. Maybe they like this draft class. So it's hard to know for sure, but I would like Rock Ya-Sin. I think he's a starting caliber corner in this league and could be CB2 with Kyler Gordon in the slot. From Caden Gunvaldson, shout out to you for the super chat. If you can only extend one, is it Darnell Mooney or Jalen Johnson? That's a really good question. Probably Johnson, because you've got DJ Moore under contract for 3 more years. You got Claypool. I like Mooney better than Claypool right now, but you do have Claypool who's eligible for an extension. If I had to pick one, I think I'd go Johnson, but I'd like to extend both. I think Mooney and Jalen Johnson are 2 players I would give second contracts to. The Bears, hashtag Bears. If Tyree Wilson, Jalen Carter, Peter Skoronski, and Paris Johnson Jr. is very similar to our first question, are there at number 9, who are you taking? Well, I kind of ranked out, how I would order them based on the guy's question before, but let's just flip the question around to you guys. Like, who would you take if these 4 players are available? Paris Johnson, Tyree Wilson, Peter Skoronski, Jalen Carter. If you want Paris Johnson Jr., type PJ. If you want Peter Skoronski, type PS. If you want Tyree Wilson, type TW. If you want Jalen Carter, type JC. If you could pick one guy to draft, who is it? Let me know in the comments. Let's go to Gary here. Sign Detroit's running back or draft a running back? If you're talking about Jamal Williams, he is signed with the Saints. And 2, I don't think you need a running back. You have Khalil Herbert, Deontay Foreman, Travis Homer, and Treston Ebner. Now, I don't know if Ebner's really in their plans for this year, so you could still draft a 4th guy late. But, you almost don't really need a 4th back. They'll probably just keep Ebner through camp and then throw him on the practice squad. So it's very possible the Bears are set. Now, if they love someone in the draft and he falls to the 4th or 5th round, they just think the value's too good, yeah, that could change things. But as far as Jamal Williams goes, he's a Saint. Super chat from Brandon Edwood. Appreciate all the donations. You guys are the best. Would you trade back for a later 1st and early 2nd to get an O-line and Jahmyr Gibbs? Again, I think with the Foreman signing, you don't have to force running back early. You've got 3 backs that can play. I think Herbert and Foreman is a real 1-2 punch. Like, that's not like chop deliver. That's a real 1-2 combination. And I think Homer's a RB3 scat back special teams guy. It's very possible the running back room that's already in place is the one we see in week 1 next year. So I don't think they'll take it back in the 2nd round. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that situation. From Joel O'Connell, it's been a while. You are a legend here at Chicago Bears Now. Appreciate the donation, my friend. He says, what up, Harrison, Hannah, and Rolly? Hope all is well. If it's a boy, it is a boy, and we do have a name, but it's not Charles or Joel. But Joel, don't worry, you're a legend. I'm happy for the 2023 season, and let's go Bears. Can we get a bear down for Joel O'Connell? I mean, let's make it happen. Get the bear downs going in the chat for Joel O'Connell. He was kind of the OG big super chatter before Sealand jumped in line next. But Joel O'Connell, he's an absolute legend here at the channel. Antonio Hyde, should we boo Montgomery for picking the Lions? No, I mean, he's got to take care of himself, man. Like, if the Bears weren't going to pay him $6 million a year, I can't really blame him for leaving. Now, look, I'll be honest. You got Deontay Foreman for 1 year, $3 million, who's he's a very capable player. So I think it worked out for both sides. I love Monty. I love what he brought to this team. But, if the Lions were willing to give him the most competitive contract, we can't blame him. That's what he's got to do. I'll always like Monty. I won't cheer for him when he plays the Bears, but otherwise, I wish him good health and nothing but the best. All right, guys, we are closing in on 64,000 subscribers. We are just over 300 away. Can we get there? Let's get to 64K. I'll tell you what. We could do another fan-led mock draft when we get to 65,000 subscribers. So, hey, we'll make it happen. Rolly and I will make it happen once again. Let's get to 65K, and to do that, we got to get to 64 first. Daily videos, news, rumors, draft, free agency. We do it all. Hit that sub button. Pima Enterprises, are you not annoyed/tilted that Aaron Rodgers, like that spelling there, is leaving Green Bay? This was the year that the Bears go 2-0 versus Rodgers. Agree, disagree? I mean, honestly, Pima, I just want it to be over, whatever it is. I was hoping he would just retire and we never heard from the guy again. Now that won't happen because he just can't stay out of the spotlight. But look, this guy's terrorized the Bears for 2 decades. Like, I don't really care. Like, him going to the Jets is fine with me. I'm fine with him out of the NFC North, and bring on Jordan Love because the Packers are due for some bad quarterback play. From Jay, better fit for the Bears, Clark or Ngakoue? Clark's probably a slightly better run defender, but he's not a great one. Ngakoue is a better pass rusher. I would go Ngakoue because you need sack production. You had 20 sacks last year, and rookie strong safety Jaquan Brisker led the team with 4. That's a joke. Like, that can't happen. Ngakoue is going to give you at least 8 based on his career. He's had 8 or more in all 7 years of his career. So I would bring him in here. 1-2-year deal. Let's make it happen. From Henry Forte, who is someone that you want the Bears to draft in the second round that has a high-level ceiling in the 2023 NFL draft? Second-round guys that I like. John Michael Schmitz, center out of Minnesota. I don't think he's going to – based on recent talk, it doesn't sound like he's going to fall to round 2, but I'll still mention him. Adetomiwa Adebaware out of Northwestern. He's an athletic freak, but Mel Kiper said he's going top 15. Now, Kiper, might be a little washed, but if he's saying top 15, then round 1 is very possible for Adebaware. So I like him. Other round 2 guys, Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma, the offensive tackle. If he falls there, Jalen Duncan out of Maryland is an intriguing name. I'm trying to think of other defensive linemen. And Brian Bresee could fall to round 2. I think his stock is dropping, so maybe he's a name to monitor. So those are a few guys that I would keep an eye on there. William Bomer, would you pick at number 9 Jackson Smith and Jigba or Bijan Robinson, you mean? It's possible the front office might pick one of these guys. Sure, it's possible. I think it's unlikely, though. They're pretty loaded at back and receiver at this point. So, look, both those guys would help those position groups, but you just need a trenches player. You need an anchor on your offensive or defensive line. So, if it's not O-line or D-line, I think it would be corner. But I don't think at this point it would be JSN or Bijan Robinson. What do you guys think, though? Who should the Bears sign next in NFL free agency? Is there someone that I'm missing? Let me know in the comment section below. Who should Chicago sign next in NFL free agency? A few more here. Marty K. Bears are done with big signings. Few small to mid 1-year contracts, and Poles is done, focusing on the draft, rolling cap over for next year. Yeah, I think there's some truth to that, but they still have to reach the cap floor, which they're not there yet. So I could see one more splash. I think Ngakoue would qualify for that. So could see it happening. Maybe another trade happens. Who knows? But with $40 million in cap space, I definitely think more moves could happen. Nicholas Selvey, Adam Rank thinks the Bears should pass on Paris Johnson if he's the best player available and trade down. I disagree. I think he's the best tackle in the draft. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with Johnson at 9. I'm also cool with trading down at 9. So I think he's got the athletic profile the Bears like the most. There might be slightly more boom bust there compared to Skoronski. Maybe Skoronski's the safer option, but I wouldn't just completely dismiss drafting Paris Johnson at number 9. Corey Harvey, since free agency has dried up, would you be interested in Shaq Leonard or other superstar trench players would you target? Well, Shaq Leonard is an off-ball linebacker, and you're good there. You signed Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. They're not going to get another high-level off-ball linebacker. Trench players I would target in a trade. I mean, is a guy like Danielle Hunter available? But I don't think the Vikings are going to trade within the division. I don't think the Bucs are going to trade Vita Vea. I just don't think there's a lot of big-name trench guys is available right now, to be honest. Maybe Jeffery Simmons is, though. The Titans have been unloading. DeForest Buckner could be another one. But, I mean, maybe you trade down from 9 to 11, get Simmons and send them a second. That'd be an interesting idea. Trade 61 or 64 to Tennessee, move down to 11 for Simmons. Wouldn't be opposed. He'd fill that 3-tech role really nicely. Joe, sports fan, if the Panthers make the playoffs in 2023, does that change the Bears' grade on trading number 1? I mean, it changes the outcome a bit, but, like, when you make that trade, you can't control what the other team does, right? So, yeah, I mean, obviously, your favorite team next year should be the Bears 1, 2, whoever Carolina plays every week. So, yeah, obviously we want the Panthers to stink. But, you know, they've made a lot of moves. They're trying to win the NFC South, I would say, and that division's wide open. So if they make the playoffs, they make the playoffs. It is what it is. But you just got to live with that outcome. Be sure to follow me on social media. It's at HGramNFL on Instagram. Same handle on Twitter, at HGramNFL. If you got any Bears questions, NFL, other stuff, I'm pretty much an open book. So hit me up over there. It is at HGramNFL.